Kody and Robyn mismanaged the situation with her children. He couldn't be away for more than 3 or 4 days because Ari just gets so sad or whatever. I'm like, I feel like that was poor parenting. Through all history of the family, the other kids did it. And they're fine. They're well-adjusted adults. I think they're fine.
She loves her dad. She wants to be around her dad. Yes. But did it ever stop Kody from going to another mom's home? No, it didn't. I wouldn't have allowed it.
This scene had me screaming at the TV. Even if I were to believe that Robyn didn't actively stop Kody from visiting his other wives, which, spoiler alert, I don't, there's no denying one thing. She absolutely prevented him from being there for his own daughter's major spinal surgery. That was Christine's breaking point, and honestly, understandably so. That moment irreparably damaged Kody's relationship with Isabel, and likely with several of the other kids too. So yes, Robyn, your child's overly clingy behavior has, in fact, harmed the family. And I'm right there with Janele. It's poor parenting. Robyn caters to her kids' every whim and has no concept of healthy boundaries. This is precisely why she is wildly unsuited for polygamy, despite her constant, teary-eyed monologues about how much she values the principle. She came into an established family with a hyper-protective, trauma-informed parenting style that doesn't mesh at all with the polygamous lifestyle. Since Ari was born, Robyn has micromanaged Kody's time and the family's money. Her kids were never allowed to be just one of the group. They didn't get the full sibling experience, being picked on, sharing space, learning give and take, because Robyn made sure they were insulated. And because she never taught Saul or Ari to deal with Kody being gone like the rest of the kids had to, they never learned to adapt. She didn't raise them with the understanding that, hey, Dad has other families too. Instead, they were coddled, smothered even. That's the fatal flaw. If you give birth to kids in a polygamous setup, but can't handle doing most of the parenting solo and teaching your kids to go without sometimes, you're a walking threat to the whole structure. That's exactly what we've watched unfold. Compare that to the OG-13. Janele's kids were used to her working long hours, and Logan basically stepped into a dad role. Christine homeschooled most of the younger kids, and her daughters helped raise their siblings. The house was organized chaos, dirty knees, independent play, some risk, lots of love, but it worked. And weirdly enough, that figure-it-out upbringing is what helped most of those kids become successful adults with families, jobs, and real resilience. They were raised in the lifestyle. Christine lived it growing up. Janele was more laid back. It wasn't perfect, but it was honest. Robyn, she was never ready to be part of that system. And while I don't fault her for wanting to protect her kids, especially with her own trauma history, she shouldn't have joined a plural family if she wasn't willing to adapt. Instead, she told herself and everyone else she could handle it, and then built a completely unsustainable situation based on control. And now we've got Ari walking around saying she hates Christine because, surprise, Samion in Robyn's house said that out loud, and she repeated it. Kids don't make this stuff up. Robyn sobs about how much she wants sister wives and a plural family, but her behavior screams monogamy. Full-blown monogamous expectations in a plural marriage, hilarious. Janele sees it. Christine saw it. The audience definitely sees it. All the other kids dealt with missing their dad. That was the deal. One man, rotating households, but not Robyn. Her kids miss Kody more. Her kids need him more. Her kids are somehow more special. Boo freaking who? Does she think we didn't see what happened? That we're all just going to forget. That we'll trust her version when the footage shows something completely different. She gives me a headache. We've got so much to dive into today, so let's not waste any time. Let's jump straight into it. Hey everyone, what's up? It's Elena here, and welcome back to my channel Reality Nexus X. Kody really pulled a fast one on Mary in their legal divorce. How did it take me this long to realize that for all his whining about money and his 3 divorces, he actually came out ahead? When he and Mary went through the legal divorce, it was basically just a paperwork shuffle with 0 financial settlement. They even joked about alimony. Mary, believing the whole thing was just a formality to make the adoption easier, ended up signing away all the things any woman would be entitled to in a divorce after 20 years of marriage. Now that she and Kody are actually splitting for good, she has no legal recourse to claim any of it, just like Christine and Janele. And let's not forget, Mary contributed financially to the family for decades. Kody knew full well he was already in love with Robyn when they filed for that legal divorce, and he mentally checked out of his marriage with Mary long before. While I'm sure he didn't plan for all his wives to leave him, part of me believes he thought he'd get away with shuffling the paperwork and getting married to sign away her rights without a fight. And now he's crying about money? Please. He managed to get through all 3 divorces with no trouble at all. The only thing Mary's entitled to from him now is his Social Security, if she wants it. Big deal. On the flip side, though, Kody doesn't get any claim on the B&B, which, let's be honest, probably isn't raking in a fortune, but seems to be doing decent enough. I've always thought that the B&B was Mary's escape, her little haven away from Kody and the family. It's no surprise she found her way out. Where do I even start with this one? Kody's latest gem about the house the family bought Christine is seriously rubbing me the wrong way. If you've heard it, you know exactly what I mean. It's his way of painting Christine as the villain, like she was handed a house on a silver platter and then just took the money and ran, leaving him and his little squad stuck with the property they still owe on. But here's the thing. Christine's down payment came out of the family account, sure, but guess who paid the mortgage every single month? Her with her own income, not a penny from Kody. So for him to act like he did some grand gesture by buying her a house, please, it's such a convenient spin, especially when you consider the absurdity of the whole situation. Let's talk about Janele, shall we? She cashed out her $401k to help fund Robyn's McMansion. She even asked to have her name put on it, because, that would make sense if she's contributing her hard-earned money, right? But nope, Kody shuts that down, claiming that Robyn needs the house in her name for her estate. What does that even mean? It's all so transparently manipulative. Kody and Robyn have this act down to a science, spinning everything in their favor. It's like watching 2 professional grifters in action. And Janele? She just handed over her retirement savings with barely a question. Like, what's it going to take for her to see the light? Let's not forget how Kody conveniently took his name off the Flagstaff house to make it easier to finance Robyn's fancy new place. Sure, that decision probably seemed smart at the time, until you realize how much it must have eaten at him later on, knowing he screwed himself out of any claim to Christine's home. But honestly, he probably doesn't care as long as Robyn gets her McMansion and everyone else is left scrambling to pay for it. In the end, it's just more smoke and mirrors, all designed to benefit Kody and Robyn. They're the ones pulling the strings while the rest of the family gets stuck with the bill. And somehow, Janele just kept giving, no questions asked. It's infuriating to watch. Kody is frustrated because Gabe hasn't responded to his text. Big surprise, right? My son has this adorable habit of not responding to texts. Welcome to the world of young adult kids, Kody. It's a cruel, indifferent place. And honestly, I'm willing to bet that Kody's text to Gabe wasn't exactly a beacon of clarity or kindness. He probably sent some text that made Gabe's phone explode with confusion. But hey, who am I to say? As for me, I've got a father who's essentially MIA, left us, started a shiny new family, and every once in a while, I'll get a WhatsApp photo of him, living it up with his new daughter while touring the globe. He probably thinks it's a nice, casual share, but it's like getting a slap in the face with a smiley emoji. Real heartwarming stuff. Oh, and let's talk about Kody texting Gabe while Gabe's out skiing. I can already picture it. Him in some cringeworthy 80s ski outfit, pulling some signature dork move, no words, just the photo. What's the point of sending a text like that? Who's supposed to respond to that? But if my dad ever went on national TV and made some stupid comment about me getting my pencil wet. Well, there's no way he'd hear from me again. Kody loves to yap about betrayal, but he never seems to notice the betrayal he's dishing out himself. Funny how that works. So Janele and Miri are finally getting back the down payment money they graciously loaned. I saw this lawyer on TikTok breaking it down, and honestly, it's a bit of a reality check. Turns out, since no one bothered to put a legally binding contract in place at the time, explicitly stating it was a loan with a clear repayment schedule, that money is legally considered a gift. Yep, a gift. Now, no matter how much it stings, Janele and Miri aren't seeing a cent back unless Robyn and Kody decide to repay them. Basically, they're waiting for a miracle. According to both Nevada and Arizona law, if there's no contract, it's just a gift. So, unless Kody suddenly develops a sense of moral responsibility, don't hold your breath. That money is as good as gone. The lawyer even said it's all about getting that contract signed and in place, which, surprise, surprise, wasn't done. And let's be real, when it comes down to doing the right thing or keeping something that benefits him, Kody is always going to pick the latter. He's not letting go of that money. But hey, we can still dream, right? Oh, and then there's the whole Garrison house thing. I really hope Janele takes all the money from that sale. And let's be honest, if Garrison's life insurance policy had any payout, I really hope Janele was the sole beneficiary. If she shares some with his siblings, that's noble, but Kody? Absolutely not. Robyn, of course, had her 2 cents. How would you even begin to calculate that? Oh, sweetie, it's really not that hard. Let's do some basic math. Suppose the house was bought for $700,000, and Janele kicked in $100,000 from the family account. If the property is now worth $900,000, Janele is morally owed 1/7 of that. Simple, traceable math. Honestly, I can't believe Kody's being so petty with Janele, especially considering she's always been the most financially generous one. And this whole "I don't trust her" excuse for not communicating with Janele about the Coyote Pass repayment schedule, that's just financial abuse, plain and simple. It's one thing to not be transparent about money, but actively refusing to discuss repayment because you're too busy playing the trust card, that's next level. By the way, remember when Robyn claimed the house was bought to be an investment property? Yeah, that could be the twist that changes the whole game. But at this point, who knows? Anyone else completely over the pregnancy episodes? Like, if you've seen one, you've basically seen them all, right? But I will admit, the latest one with Mykelti and Tony was a bit different, because, shocker, Robyn and Christine actually had a conversation. And for a brief moment, I didn't totally dislike Robyn. Of course, that was short-lived. Hello, fake fight with Kody right after. But seriously, credit where it's due. Robyn did stay up all night and slept in a closet, and that was oddly selfless. Seeing the women interact like that was a little eerie, though. Am I totally off base here, or do you agree? Robyn's whole birthing scene, with her stepped front and center and Kody delivering his usual nonsense advice, was just enough to push me over the edge. Definitely done with that. Honestly, everyone seems to be better off when Kody's not around, right? But hey, birth scenes are basically a rite of passage for the plural family life, aren't they? If Robyn really wants Kody to reconcile with his original kids, then why is it Christine who's forced to go through the hassle of filing to establish Truly's paternity, child support, and custody/visitation? And why is Christine spending her hard-earned money on an attorney to make all this happen? If Robyn truly cared that much, she'd be the one demanding Kody pay up. Both Arizona and Utah have published child support guidelines. It's not rocket science. They could have sorted this out quietly, but no, that's apparently too much to ask. And let's not forget Robyn's big push to strip her ex of his rights as a father and bulldoze Kody's adoption of her kids. But when it comes to ensuring Kody's name is on all of his own kids' birth certificates, Silence. Absolute silence. I called total BS on that one. Robyn never cared about Kody reconciling with his kids. It was all just a performance to make her look less like the villain she truly is. I get the feeling she's more worried about her kids mixing with the OG kids than anything else, probably because of all the lies she's been telling. Kody's big move, claiming he wants 50/50 custody of Truly. This, of course, came right after Christine made her grand announcement that she was packing up and leaving for Utah. When Janele casually asked about Truly, Kody jumped in with his dramatic declaration that Christine would not take her from him, and that he, of course, was entitled to 50/50 custody. Now, let's break this down. Seriously? Do you really think a court is going to hand you 50/50 when the only time you see Truly is for about 30 minutes outside once a week? You didn't even make the effort to visit her when she lived in the same city, Kody. Please. This whole 50/50 custody spiel was just a pathetic attempt to look like a caring father in front of the cameras and anyone else who might be watching. You never even brought it up to Christine when you two actually discussed custody. Nice try though. And then there's Robyn, who, let's be honest, totally knew about Kody's plans. She's such a terrible actress, it's embarrassing. Instead of pretending to be shocked and even shedding a tear or two, she just stared blankly, trying and failing to look like she wasn't already in on the scheme. It's almost like Kody was signaling to everyone, "Look, I'm just trying to keep my money. Don't make me pay child support." It's classic deadbeat dad behavior. Don't parent, just threaten custody because heaven forbid you actually contribute. This isn't about Truly's best interests. It's about Kody not wanting to hand over any of his money. And let's not forget, this was also his way of trying to mess with Christine. If she has to shuttle Truly back and forth, Kody's still got her time wrapped up in his web. It's all about control. He also had the audacity to tell Christine that if they didn't have a formal custody agreement in place before she left, Truly would end up as a ward of the state. Because, of course, Kody's version of being a dad means threatening to let the system take over rather than work out a real plan. Classic move. Robyn, make up your mind already. Honestly, I'm getting whiplash here on my 714th rewatch. She's out here playing the victim, claiming the family always snubbed her and that she and her precious kids were treated like absolute dirt. But then, surprise, she's crying about missing them for the holidays. The same family she insists shunned her and her kids for a decade. Yeah, that makes sense. You're so hurt by them, but also desperately want to spend every special moment with them. Sure, makes perfect sense. Maybe her new PR team can help her get those conflicting stories straight. And here's the kicker. Robyn claimed she wanted Kody to adopt her kids, so if something happened to her, the family could step in and care for them. But hold up, why on earth would you want your kids with a family you've been saying never accepted them? Oh right, because it's all one big lie. Robyn and Kody didn't have to be married for him to adopt her kids. That was just a little drama they fed Mary, and she totally bought it. It was nothing more than a ploy to make Robyn the legal wife. Robyn and Kody are going to face the consequences of all this mess eventually. I'm starting to think Robyn's been talking about herself all along. The other kids never really fully accepted her, but they did accept and love her kids. So what does Robyn do? She spins this narrative where her kids were somehow left out, even though we've seen plenty of moments where the other Browns lovingly referred to her kids as their brothers and sisters. They've expressed how much they miss them, but strangely, they never say the same about Robyn herself. And that's exactly why she doesn't want them to be around each other. It ruins her whole narrative. And wasn't Robyn the one who was always too uncomfortable to have family gatherings in recent years because of all the tension and potential blow-ups? As if a family this big won't always have some drama lurking underneath. Honestly, it's a shame, because if Robyn had just opened up the so-called family investment home chateau last Christmas, I'm sure a bunch of the kids would have shown up. But I guess that would have ruined the whole victim storyline she's been working so hard on. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next video. Take care and much love to you all.